Hello, today I want to show you how to grow a tomato seed available on the gardenshop.ie. What we have here is the F1 Luciola tomato seed. So the F1 Luciola tomato seed, it's different from other tomato seeds in that it has a oval fruit. It's also a fast growing variety and gives you good yields. So to show you first how to grow these seeds, I'll just show you the different things you would need. We have here a 9 centimeter pot. It's a recycled plastic pot, so that's the first thing that you would need. Secondly, the seeds themselves, and I'll just show you the packaging that the seeds would come in. Firstly, they come in this plastic Ziploc bag, so that would keep them very dry in storage. And also secondly, they come within that plastic Ziploc bag inside a brown paper bag. This brown paper bag is available to soak up moisture, preventing the seeds from becoming damp in transport, but also in storage. Other things that you would need would be a potting compost similar to this one here. This is just a general potting compost, and you can see it's very fine and crumbly, perfect for sowing seeds. Other products you would use, I recommend, would be something like this. Here is labels, comes with a pen here, also available on the gardenshop.ie. What you would do with this is you would put them in your prepared pot, label it, put the date on, just so as you know what you're sowing and when you were sowing it. So the process involved in sowing the tomato seed, in this case we have the F1 Luciola. You would first take your pot, fill it with compost, which we'll do nice and quickly. Okay, you don't want to squash the soil down, just give the pot a light tap to compact the compost. Next you would take some water, obviously very important. Once water comes into, or a seed comes into contact with water, the seed will begin to sprout. So what we have here is a pressure sprayer. This is a 1.5 litre pressure sprayer, also available on the gardenshop.ie. So you just water your soil in nice and keep it nice and moist, give it a really good soaking. Okay. So you can see the soil is not actually up to the very top of the pot, it's a little bit lower. We'll sow our seed directly onto this moist soil now. So you really give that a good soaking, because it can dry out fast enough. So we'll take our seeds, keeping my hands as dry as possible without putting my hands into the packet. So I'll just pour maybe 3 or 4 seeds out into my hand now. Okay. So a few more came out, I just put them back in first, keeping them dry, because once the seed gets wet it starts to germinate, therefore it could die otherwise. Okay, so here's the seeds going in, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So the 4 seeds are in the centre of the pot there on the surface of the soil. Next I take another small handful of soil and place it over the top. Okay, give that a light press down just to give good contact between the seed and the compost. And that's that prepared. Now after ideal time for sowing your seeds, well, you can start your tomatoes indoors in February. In a position like this we have a perfect situation here, good heat in this polytunnel. If you see, we have tomatoes here, this F1 Luciola growing here. This is a 6-week-old plant. So what we have here in the pot would take about 2 weeks to germinate. Once the seeds germinate, give it another 4 to 5 weeks and you will have tomato plants about this height, which is roughly a foot high. Now these tomato plants have been grown indoors in warm temperatures and are watered quite regularly, and that's important with any tomatoes, that you keep them watered regularly, especially once the fruits begin to develop. Regular watering prevents the fruits from cracking. Also, at the time of flowering we recommend you use something like this here, which is a liquid tomato feed, high in potassium, and it's also available on the gardenshop.ie. So that's just an introduction on how to grow your tomato plants, which in this case was the F1 Luciola tomato, available on the gardenshop.ie.